Welcome back to it, guys. Tobago Thursdays continues, and the Diabetes Association of Trinidad and Tobago, along with the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, will be conducting a 2-day diabetes foot care training session this weekend. Medical professionals will receive training from orthopedic surgeon, wound care specialists, vascular surgeons and a podiatrist. And to tell us more about it this morning, I am joined by two doctors distinguished in the field. So let's say good morning and welcome to Dr. Maxwell Adeyemi, the president of the Scarborough Diabetic Association, and to Dr. Fidelis Okali, the past president of the Caribbean College of Family Physicians. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Now Morning Show.
Good morning.
Good morning. Morning. Good morning, viewers.
Thank you so much for joining us. And this comes ahead of what will be quite the session, because foot care for diabetics is a very necessary conversation to be had, as it differs from, well, regular foot care. Perhaps we can start there, Dr. Adeyemi, distinguishing foot care for diabetics as opposed to regular foot care. What do we need to pay attention to?
Basically, anybody could get foot care problems, right? But the regular, care of the foot for any ordinary person, which is routine maintenance and, inspection and caring for your feet just to be sure that everything is in good order, is quite different from being someone who is diabetic, because when you're diabetic, you definitely do have an increased and enhanced risk of having, foot problems that could easily get complicated and result in, some form of, discomfort and disability in some instances. And being a diabetic, more or less, there are quite a few pathways that will accelerate, the development of, foot ulcer and foot problem, diverse kind of foot problems. And therefore, there is need for particular attention, education, inspection, caring for the diabetic foot. So it's really important that the diabetic pays serious attention to their foot.
Right. Now, granted that this is a 2-day training session, is it that we have the same sorts of material being covered on each day repeatedly, or it is a continuous thing that you must attend both days?
You have to attend both days because it's a continuum. It's different aspect of the foot care that we're going to be dealing with. Okay, from just learning about diabetes, learning about how diabetes, will increase the risk of foot problems, how to identify these foot problems, what are the warning signs, and then how to be able to, raise the alarm when you notice certain things, especially the health professionals, how to collaborate with other health, professionals in terms of dealing effectively with the diabetic foot, primarily from the preventive action, then to, if there's a problem, how to deal with the problem before complications sets in,
Dr. Okali, I want to switch across to you, because in terms of the general physician who, yes, doesn't specify or doesn't specialize rather in diabetic care, there's still the need for the knowledge. So tell us a little bit about what the diabetic foot care would entail from the physician's standpoint, the general physician's standpoint.
Thank you very much. Well, diabetes, as we know, is a very serious problem. And the management of diabetes involves the multidisciplinary team in taking care of diabetes. Those of us in primary health care or the general practitioners, who are the first line managers of diabetic patients, must have that in-depth knowledge to not only to identify diabetic foot problems, but also to prevent diabetic foot problems from occurring, because we know diabetes affects the foot through its action, where it damages the nerves of the feet. We call diabetic peripheral neuropathy. It also damages the blood vessels, the tiny blood vessels, what we call microvascular damage. and the muscle also. So diabetes affects the foot in a serious way. And these things start small. So a diabetic patient who is coming to see you as a general practitioner or a family physician or a primary healthcare physician, you must strategically position yourself to look out for these things.
Right.
You have to inspect the patient's feet. As a matter of fact, with patients that have no peripheral neuropathy, that is no nerve damage, they must have at least every visit you have to inspect their feet to ensure that nothing is happening there. We do that by thorough inspection. We also use certain things, an instrument they call monofilament, which we use in testing for sensation. We use pin also. We inspect, we educate, just like my colleague has said. So these are the things that the general practitioners will learn when they come, when they attend this session. They're going to learn a lot, and this is going to help the patient at large as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad that you gave us some insight as to what the training actually involves. But Dr. Adeyemi, could you give me a little bit more detail? Granted that you said it's a continuation for the 2 days. Can you give us a brief description of what physicians and others can expect when they encounter the training?
All right. Basically, we have a team of professionals that are coming. Actually, it is facilitated by the International Working Group on the Diabetic Foot, which is a subsidiary of the International Diabetic Federation and the Caribbean Foot Care Initiative. So we have a diabetologist who will be talking to us about diabetes and, basically what it is and stuff like that. Then we have a podiatrist who specializes in care of the feet, who would also be, taking different aspects of the lectures that are outlined for the day. Then you have a vascular surgeon who is going to tell us about the way the vasculature and the blood vessel supplies of the leg are affected by diabetes and how to look out for the symptoms of, diabetic foot as related to vascular damages. And then we also have a foot and ankle surgeon who will also be deliberating on issues that possibly when surgery is needed, how to do it, and stuff like that. And then we have a wound care specialist who is also, versed with the different aspects of wound dressing and wound care, what kind of dressing to use, what not to use, when to use what different types of, dressing materials, So it's going to be a very extensive, very learning session. Learning session for everyone.
All right. Sounds intense. And in that case, a person who's wanted to register times and locations, Dr. Okali, could you please tell us where we can register, times and locations so that we can get this ball rolling?
Well, registration, I think there is an online registration. My colleague, Dr. Maxwell, who plays an active part in the team, can shed a light on the details of the registration. But in terms of our local doctors, through the Caribbean College of Family Physicians, we have our doctors ready. Most of our doctors have indicated their interest in participating in this session. I'm not so sure how it is with respect to people coming from outside, how they're going to do the registration. I think Dr. Maxwell will share more light on that.
Dr. Adeyemi, can you clarify?
Basically it's a cohort kind of, training, because we can only take about 30 persons at a time, which involve nurses, nursing assistants, and doctors. Now, as of this morning, we will have met that quota because we're looking for 30. Now we have about 36 people registered already. But this is a collaboration of effort between the Caribbean College of Family Physicians, the Diabetes Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and the Division of Health and Wellness as well. So basically, we all are teaming together, and it's possibly maybe one of its many kinds to come in future. If we cannot get everybody trained at once, I'm sure we will collaborate to repeat this kind of training another time so that we get more persons trained.
And in that case, we truly appreciate the collaborative effort, and we appreciate you gentlemen for joining us this morning to enlighten us on the happenings over there in Tobago. Do have a fantastic day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
An absolute pleasure, of course. Joining us there, we had the president of the Scarborough Diabetic Association, as well as the past president of the Caribbean College of Family Physicians, as they're telling us about the 2-day course happening in Tobago to make sure that physicians are better equipped to deal with diabetic patients in Tobago. Good stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely good stuff, and so necessary as well, because it's one thing that I think we speak about it over and over again, because we can't overemphasize how important it is. So to know that there's, for want of a better expression, a touch base with physicians as well. It's needed. We all need to continue to raise awareness, and we need to also look out for others as well who may be living with a condition.
Looking out for each other, continuing to raise awareness, and more than anything, continuing to learn.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to me how much doctors have to continuously refresh themselves, if you will, but it makes complete sense with the way that the world changes. All the advancement that they have, they're staying up to date with them and making sure that Tobago is better equipped to deal with diabetes. Guys, we're taking a break again, but don't worry, we have more on the other side of the No Morning Show.